CBC's shock, what the communists said that left everyone stunned. In the current political landscape of Canada, the discourse surrounding misinformation, foreign interference, and the erosion of public trust has reached a critical juncture. As the nation gears up for the upcoming elections, the spotlight is firmly on Prime Minister Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Both leaders are navigating a complex web of public sentiment and political strategy, making it essential to understand the underlying dynamics at play. Carney, the new leader of the Liberal Party, faces increasing scrutiny not only from the opposition but also from within his party. Many Liberals are distancing themselves from Carney due to concerns over his honesty and transparency. This distancing reflects a broader sentiment among Canadians who feel that something is fundamentally wrong with the current administration. The growing discontent is palpable, and critics are beginning to voice the belief that Carney's leadership could be challenged in the near future. Pierre Poilievre has been particularly vocal about the state of Canada's manufacturing sector, which he claims is now smaller than that of Ireland. This assertion is striking given Canada's significantly larger population. Poilievre attributes the decline to excessive red tape, which has reportedly increased by 42%. His argument suggests that Canada must unleash free enterprise to revitalize the manufacturing industry, indicating that the country's underperformance is a result of poor governmental policies rather than a lack of effort from its citizens. This narrative resonates with many Canadians who are frustrated by perceived stagnation in economic growth and job creation. As the manufacturing sector struggles, the implications for workers and communities are severe. Poilievre's message taps into a growing fear that Canada is falling behind on the global stage and that decisive action is necessary to restore its competitive edge. His call for reform is not just economic. It reflects a deeper yearning for a return to a thriving, opportunity-rich Canada. Amid these discussions, Carney is preparing for a high-profile meeting with the Pope, which has ignited controversy. Critics argue that this trip is a misuse of taxpayer dollars, particularly during an economic crisis. Many perceive the trip as prioritizing personal connections over genuine diplomatic efforts. The delegation accompanying Carney includes several Catholic MPs and representatives from Indigenous organizations, raising further questions about the motivations behind this trip. Given the pressing socioeconomic issues facing Canadians, the optics of such a visit are questionable. The media landscape in Canada is also under scrutiny, particularly regarding how coverage varies based on political affiliation. Observers note that if a Conservative leader were in a similar situation, they would likely face intense criticism. Meanwhile, Carney's approach to decision-making, which some perceive as prioritizing personal beliefs over transparency, has sparked heated debates about accountability and leadership. The double standards in media coverage are glaring, leading to public frustration over perceived biases. Another significant point of contention is the government's failure to present a federal budget, which many critics argue undermines public trust and fiscal responsibility. This lack of transparency is seen as detrimental not only to democracy, but also to Canadian businesses. Conservative MP Roman Babb has recently emphasized that the government's attempts to control information pose a significant threat to democracy, likening it to censorship practices observed in authoritarian regimes. Babb's comments resonate with citizens who value free speech and the right to access diverse perspectives. Furthermore, the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, CRTC, has been involved in regulating content and streaming services, leading to pushback from various media industry stakeholders. Critics argue that these regulations favor government-approved narratives and threaten the diversity of independent voices in the media. The recent discussions surrounding the Online Streaming Act indicate a tightening grip on content regulation, which could stifle alternative perspectives and limit the range of narratives available to the public. Stephen Guilbeault, tasked with overseeing the implementation of the Online Streaming Act, raises concerns due to his background as an environmental activist. Many wonder how his previous positions will influence his approach to media regulation. This act could require streaming services to allocate a portion of their revenues to government-controlled media, potentially diminishing opportunities for independent creators who are already struggling to gain visibility in a crowded market. Moreover, the Online Streaming Act is expected to manipulate algorithms to promote Canadian content, which could inadvertently marginalize smaller media outlets. The fear is that this regulatory framework will lead to a homogenization of viewpoints, stifling the voices of those who do not conform to mainstream narratives. While promoting diversity in content is essential, the implementation of such mandates raises concerns about who gets to decide what is deemed acceptable. As the political landscape evolves, the implications of these regulatory changes are far-reaching. The growing influence of government over media could fundamentally alter the way Canadians consume information. Many citizens are worried that the government's actions might lead to a chilling effect on free expression, making it increasingly difficult for independent voices to emerge. This situation underscores the urgent need for public dialogue about the balance between regulation and freedom. In conclusion, there is a palpable concern regarding the government's trajectory, particularly in terms of transparency, accountability, and freedom of expression. Many Canadians feel frustrated with the current administration, fearing that the government's actions could lead to more significant issues in the future. As the elections approach, the stakes are high, and citizens are watching closely. The need for genuine dialogue and a return to democratic principles is more critical than ever, as Canadians seek to reclaim their voices in the political arena. As both Carney and Poilievre prepare for the upcoming elections, they must navigate these complex challenges while addressing the pressing concerns of the electorate. The political landscape is shifting, and the decisions made in the coming months will have lasting ramifications for Canada's future. With rising discontent and increasing calls for accountability, the dialogue around these issues will shape the narrative of the elections and influence the direction of the country.